Bolognese sauce, known in Italian as Raga alla Bolognese, is a meat-based sauce originating from Bologna, Italy. In Italian cuisine, it is customarily used to dress tagliatelle al Raga and to prepare lasagna alla Bolognese. In the absence of tagliatelle, it can also be used with other broad, flat pasta shapes, such as padel or fettuccine, or with short tube shapes, such as rigatoni or penne. Genuine Raga alla Bolognese is a slowly cooked sauce, and its preparation involves several techniques, including sweating, sotto copywriting and braising. Ingredients include a characteristic soffritto of onion, celery and carrot, different types of minced or finely chopped meat, wine and a small amount of tomato concentrate. The earliest documented recipe of an Italian meat-based sauce served with pasta comes from late 18th century Imola, near Bologna. In 1891 Pellegrino Artusi first published a recipe for a meat sauce characterized as being Bolognese. While many traditional variations do exist, in 1982 the Italian Academy of Cuisine registered a recipe for authentic Raga alla Bolognese with the Bologna Chamber of Commerce. In Italy, Raga alla Bolognese is often referred to simply as Raga. Outside Italy, Bolognese sauce often refers to a tomato-based sauce to which mince has been added. Such sauces typically bear little resemblance to Raga alla Bolognese. Whereas in Italy Raga is not used with spaghetti, so-called spaghetti bolognese has become a popular dish in many other parts of the world. Origin and history. The earliest documented recipe for a meat-based sauce served with pasta comes from late 18th century Imola, near Bologna. Pellegrino Artusi published a recipe for a meat sauce characterized as being Bolognese in his cookbook published in 1891. Artusi's recipe, macaroni alla Bolognese, is thought to derive from the mid-19th century when he spent considerable time in Bologna. The recipe only partially resembles the Raga alla Bolognese that is traditionally associated with tagliatelle. The sauce called for predominantly lean veal fillet along with pancetta, butter, onion, and carrot. The meats and vegetables were to be finely minced, cooked with butter until the meats browned, then covered and cooked with broth. Artusi commented that the taste could be made even more pleasant by adding small pieces of dried mushroom, a few slices of truffle, or chicken liver cooked with the meat and diced. As a final touch, he also suggested adding half a glass of cream to the sauce when it was completely done to make it taste even smoother. Artusi recommended serving this sauce with a medium-sized pasta made from durum wheat. The pasta was to be made fresh, cooked until it was firm, and then flavored with the sauce and Parmigiano cheese. Evolution and variations. In the century plus since Artusi recorded and subsequently published his recipe for macaroni alla Bolognese, what is now Raga alla Bolognese has evolved with the cuisine of the region. Most notable is the preferred choice of pasta, which today is widely recognized as fresh tagliatelle. Another reflection of the evolution of the cuisine over the past 150 years is the addition of tomato either as a puree or as a concentrated paste, to the common mix of ingredients. Similarly, both wine and milk appear today in the list of ingredients in many of the contemporary recipes, and beef has mostly displaced veal as the dominant meat. In 1982, the Italian Academy of Cuisine, an organization dedicated to preserving the culinary heritage of Italy, recorded and deposited a recipe for classic Bolognese Raga with the Bologna Chamber of Commerce. A version of the Academy's recipe for American kitchens was also published. The Academy's recipe confines the ingredients to beef cut from the plate section, fresh unsmoked pancetta, onions, carrot, celery, passata, meat broth, dry wine, milk, salt and pepper. The option of adding a small amount of cream at the end of the preparation is recommended. Nowadays, there are many variations of the recipe even among native Italian chefs, and the repertoire has been further broadened by some American chefs known for their expertise in Italian cuisine. Raga alla Bolognese is a complex sauce which involves various cooking techniques, including sweating, sotto copywriting and braising. As such, it lends itself well to interpretation and adaptation by professional chefs and home cooks alike. Common sources of differences include which meats to use and their relative quantities, the possible inclusion of either cured meats or offal, which fats are used in the SOTA copyright phases, what form of tomato is employed, the makeup of the cooking liquids and their specific sequence of addition. The numerous variations among recipes for raga to the first alla bolognese have led many to search for the definitive, authentic recipe. Some have suggested the recipe registered by the Accademia Italiana della Cucina in 1982 as the most authentic. However, this would be inconsistent with the Academy's own beliefs and statements about remaining faithful to tradition in documenting and preserving Italy's culinary heritage. Prominent Italian chef Mario Caramella stated, "In Italy, there are several traditional recipes of tagliatelle al raga to the first alla bolognese with more or less slight variations." The noted chef, culinary teacher, food writer, and authority on the cuisine of Bologna, Mary Beth Clark, claims there are as many versions of bolognese raga to the first as there are versions of tomato sauce and pizza. According to UK cookbook author and food writer Felicity Cloke, the fact is that there is no definitive recipe for a bolognese meat sauce, but to be worthy of the name, it should respect the traditions of the area, a view that is consistent with that often expressed by the Italian Academy of Cuisine. The many variations tend to be based on a common theme. For instance, garlic is absent from all of the recipes referenced above, as are herbs other than a parsimonious use of bay leaves by some. Seasoning is limited to salt, pepper and the occasional pinch of nutmeg. In all of the recipes meats dominate as the principal ingredient, while tomatoes, in one form or another, are only an auxiliary ingredient. Traditional service and use. In Bologna raga to the first alla bolognese is customarily paired and served with tagliatelle, made with eggs in Northern Italia unregistered trademark soft wheat flour. Acceptable alternatives to fresh tagliatelle include other broad flat pasta shapes, such as padelle or fettuccine, and tube shapes, such as rigatoni and penne. Raga to the first alla bolognese along with bar copyright camel is also used by many Italian chefs to prepare traditional baked lasagna in bolognese style. International Day of Italian Cuisines 2010, Gruppo Virtuale Cuochi Italiani, an international organization and network of culinary professionals dedicated to authentic Italian cuisine, annually organizes and promotes an International Day of Italian Cuisines. In 2010 tagliatelle al ragu alla bolognese was the official dish for IDIC. The event, held on January 17, 2010, included participation by 450 professional chefs in 50 countries who prepared the signature dish according to an authentic recipe provided by chef Mario Caramella. Media coverage was broad internationally, but reports often incorrectly identified the recipe followed as that of l'Accademia Italiana della Cucina, and some included stock photographs of spaghetti bolognese. Spaghetti bolognese. So-called spaghetti alla bolognese is a pasta dish invented outside of Italy, consisting of a meat sauce served on a bed of spaghetti. The sauce is commonly prepared from ground beef, tomato, onion, bacon, spices, possibly cream and additional vegetables such as carrots, celery, or parsnip. The dish is often topped with a sprinkling of grated Parmigiano cheese. Although spaghetti alla bolognese is very popular in various countries outside of Italy, raga to the first is not served with spaghetti in Bologna, as the pieces of meat do not adhere well to this kind of pasta. In recent decades, the dish has become very popular in France, Iran, Libya, Germany, Austria, Hungary, Sweden, Finland, Denmark and Norway. It is called spaghetti med car paragraph TTFA currency RSSANS, in Swedish. Spaghetti judge or liakastik, in Finnish. Spaghetti med kardsevs in Danish. Bologna spaghetti in Hungarian. And spaghetti og ttdeig in Norwegian. Or simply bolognese. Most of these dishes have ground beef and grated cheese as the main ingredient. Other ingredients can vary or even be omitted. A version of this dish is popular in the United Kingdom, Republic of Ireland, New Zealand and Australia, where it is often referred to as spagbol or spagbog. In the United States, the dish is often called simply spaghetti, or spaghetti and meat sauce. The sauce, a tomato and ground beef sauce that bears little resemblance to the raga to the first served in Bologna. Euro is typically called spaghetti sauce, and the term bolognese is rarely applied. In Iran, this dish is simply referred to as macaroni, and usually contains turmeric as the main seasoning of the ground beef, as well as diced, skinless potatoes in the spaghetti sauce. Many Iranians make tardig out to the bottom of the spaghetti as it is simmering. See also, List of pasta, spaghetti with meatballs, references. Further reading, Hazen, Marcella. The Classic Italian Cookbook. Knopf. ISBN 0-394-40510-2, external links, Accademia Italiana della Cucina, Ragu Bolognese recipe from Mario Batoli and Gourmet Magazine, official Bolognese sauce recipe. Raga to the first alla Bolognese, CIBO Culinary Institute of Bologna. Original Ragu Bolognese sauce recipe.